Hi, friends. Excuse the change of clothes, but my video in the middle of it cut off, and I'm having to restart and finish out this 25-minute segment for Hebrew Nation and Bridegroom Comes podcast. So stay with me for the last 10 minutes here. We had just looked at Haggai 2, where God will shake the heavens and the earth, the sea, the dry land, all nations, and the desire of all nations will come. What's the desire of all nations? I believe that's the fact that we can be part of His kingdom and even be anointed to serve Him well. That's what I see is happening at the end of a time prophecy that fits this chapter because the chapter is historically about the foundations being laid for the temple, and it wasn't the temple after Solomon's didn't match. Solomon's was so great, so large, so glorious, so much gold and so on. This was a more simple temple, but the prophecy of it was the glory of this one in Haggai is talking about will be exceed and be above that which was before with Solomon. How is that so? Because Messiah Christ was in that temple. Okay, he came to talk with and reason with the Pharisees and so on. His glory exceeds anything that Solomon could do. So the point is, though, that I see this as end time, not the favorite author says when God says something more than once, we should pay attention. And I'm seeing that in this chapter, a text that has not happened yet and is still future is applying when it says that it mentions three times the ninth month and 24th day, and as associated with the end of the foundations of the temple. And this is not about the Jews in Israel today going to build the third temple. Okay, not going to happen. In my opinion, God's going to let the Muslims drive out those Jews. But basically, Bible says, ye, this is Paul, he's the greatest theologian in the New Testament, and twice, once in 1 Corinthians 3:16, and again in 2 Corinthians 6:16, we have him saying, ye are the temple of God, okay? Because our bodies can be his temple if we honor them and try to, don't defile them, okay, one way or the other. So we can be his temple, and the time prophecy that is at the end gives you the ninth day and 24th month, I'm sorry, ninth month, 24th day, fits the best known time prophecy in the Bible, Daniel 9, that's a 70-week prophecy. It was weeks of years in the first effort, okay, coming from Artaxerxes' decree in 457 to when Christ Messiah was anointed in 27 AD. That was the 69th week, and he then was crucified 3.5 years later in the midst of the week. And that finished, the other 3.5 years finished out the 70-week period. When Stephen was stoned, and the gospel went to Gentiles after the Jews. So the 70 weeks were fulfilled for Jewish time. And sadly, their temple in the next verse, verse 26, was destroyed within a generation because they didn't honor their Messiah. They couldn't count the sevens. So to speak, because 77s are determined upon your people. Well, the point that I want to get to is that if we were talking about calendar changes by the papacy, and they changed the basis of in the calendar, the Gregorian calendar, sorry, it has no relationship between the new moon and the new month. The new moon can be at the beginning, middle, or end of the month, doesn't matter to them. And the papacy, it really ruins God's plan, but for those that really want to honor him, I believe, and I'm giving you proof right now, that his calendar will match and fit this time period that will end on the ninth day and 24th month, and include our anointing to be his servants in the end time. This is how I'm reading it, because the prophecy in Daniel 9:24-25, the 69th week is Messiah or anointing. Okay, and I believe that time period for us begins after the temple is there's an earthquake, and that earthquake, by the way, was historically it ended, brought to an end, Laodicean church, lukewarm with materialism. I believe it will do that again for us. Okay, that was in 63 A.D. when that seventh church was destroyed with the city of Laodicea. But type and antitype, what it's going to be is comes forth. God summons each event back in its turn, and I believe that we need to be looking at the timing, so that we can, when Muslims take Jerusalem and celebrate their mosque, the Lord is going to roar, heavens and earth will shake, and that is really just as God executed judgment on Passover in Egypt. That will be again a Passover judgment, but it will be in the second spring month, as the days of Noah. When Christ said, "No man knows the day or hour, but as the days of Noah." Noah entered the ark on the 10th day of the second month, and this year it has unique timing that I want to share with you. If you Google dark day, because Joel 2 verses 1 and 2 say the day of the Lord is a day of darkness. Google dark day. It was May 19, 1780. Unexplainably dark. Pioneers thought that Christ was coming, that they were Christian. But it repeated 200 years later to the very day, May 19, 1980, when Mount St. Helens erupted and put ash into the sky. Winds carried that ash overnight to darken 3 states in the northwest, just like the original dark day was northeast in New England. And so my point is, amazing coincidence of May 19, 200 years apart. I think God was marking May 19 on the Gregorian calendar, not his calendar, but so we can get a heads up. And this year, May 19 has unique timing, because the 19th of May is really the 10th day of the month, counting from the new moon. On his calendar, it's the 10th day, which is the day Noah entered the ark. And so if it's as the days of Noah, I believe the earthquake that's going to happen after Muslims take the city will fall on that second month, Passover time. It'll be the 15th day of the month, counting from the new moon. But anyway, the date will be May 19 that they entered, and I think get out. It's the same day that Noah went into the ark, and on May 19, I think get out of town, take a vacation. I'd say 2 weeks if you can take it, and find a place where you might rent or survive. If big things happen and you can't go back to the city because city's in ruins, martial law and so on, you are still prepared to survive. And I would say, counting from the earthquake the day after is like from the morrow after the Sabbath, count 50 days to Pentecost. And from that Pentecost is when you want to count the 70 weeks to 9th month, 24th day, for the foundation to be laid and established. I think that it fits that way if you're using the lunar calendar of the Bible, just as you see a woman standing on the moon in Revelation 12:1, lunar understanding is implied. If you're standing on the moon, you have a lunar understanding of the calendar, not the Catholic Gregorian calendar where and so these feast days, I think, are critically important, and Hebrew Nation, you all understand that, or are seeking to understand it, and other people need to understand it. We can be in Matthew 22, verse 2 and 3, the king makes a marriage for his son, sends his servants to bid people to a wedding. We can be the servants. We know when it's going to be. When God took Israel from Egypt to Sinai, it was Pentecost. They made a covenant. They became his kingdom and his bride. He later said in Jeremiah 3, verse 14, return to me, I'm married to you. That's how we marry the bridegroom. Need to understand these timings, and I would say get my book. Go to Amazon or Health, Happiness, and Destiny is an easier way. Healthhappinessdestiny.com. Those three words we all want, and get a book that appeals to you and read it, study it. Email me if you have questions. My email is ruling7@yahoo.com. That's ruhling7 at yahoo. Thank you for listening to this. God bless you. We'll see you again next week.